You've heard the legends, Camaro SS, Chevelle SS, Corvette Stingray, but hidden deeper in Chevrolet's vault were machines too powerful, too rare, and too extreme for the open road. Born from secret codes and backdoor deals, these monsters carried horsepower numbers that defied belief. Few survived, fewer still have ever been seen. Top 1, 1969 Corvette ZL1. It looked like any other C3 Corvette with its shark-like profile, but under its fiberglass skin lurked a weapon so exotic and expensive that even Chevrolet hesitated to build it. The 1969 Corvette ZL1 was not a sports car, it was an engineering dare wrapped in fiberglass. Born from Chevrolet's racing ambitions, the ZL1 carried an all-aluminum 427 cubic inch big block, a twin to the fearsome L88 but stripped of iron weight. Officially rated at 430 horsepower, dyno tests whispered figures well above 550. The aluminum block and heads dropped nearly 100 pounds, transforming the Corvette into a sharper, lighter predator. Backed by a Muncie M22 rock crusher gearbox and heavy-duty suspension, it could storm the quarter-mile in the low 12S numbers unheard of for a street car in 1969. Inside, the cabin looked standard: bucket seats, simple gauges, and little luxury. The ZL1 wasn't built for comfort. It was built to humiliate anything on track. But here's the truth. Almost nobody bought one. The ZL1 engine alone added more than $4,700 to the sticker price, doubling the cost of a Corvette. Chevrolet built only 2 confirmed ZL1 Corvettes, making them rarer than almost any American performance car. Those 2 cars became instant legends. They represented the pinnacle of Chevrolet's engineering excess power levels, bordering on insanity, hidden in a body most thought was just another Corvette. Today, their value is beyond calculation, not just for rarity, but for what they represent: the absolute edge of muscle-eric experimentation. But the ZL1 wasn't the only Corvette hiding a monster under its hood. Just 2 years later, Chevrolet unleashed another secret package, the ZR2, stuffed with a 454 L6 big block that would shake the streets. Op 2, 1971 Corvette ZR2, LS6 454. It looked like just another chrome bumper Corvette, but hidden beneath the fiberglass nose was a monster that nearly tore the rulebook apart. The 1971 Corvette ZR2 wasn't a cruiser. It was Chevrolet's secret big block war machine. The ZR2 was born through Chevrolet's Copo-style ordering system. Tick the elusive ZR2 box, and your Corvette arrived with the LS6 450 cubic inch big block under the hood. Officially rated at 425 horsepower, real-world numbers crept toward 500. With a forged steel crank, 11.251 compression, and a Holley 4-barrel, the LS6 delivered brutal thrust, capable of low 13-second quarter miles. But the ZR2 wasn't only about straight Lyle speed. It came standard with heavy-duty suspension, power brakes, and upgraded cooling systems to survive serious abuse. Comfort options? Deleted. Air conditioning? Forget it. Inside, buyers got the same Corvette cockpit bucket seats, full instrumentation but stripped of frivolity. This was a race-bred Corvette hiding in plain sight. And then gone. Chevrolet built just 12 examples of the ZR2 in 1971. Strangled by rising insurance premiums, looming emissions regulations, and the shadow of the oil crisis, the package was killed almost as quickly as it appeared. Most enthusiasts never even knew it existed. Today, those 12 cars stand as unicorns of the Corvette world. They mark the last gasp of Chevrolet's raw big block fury before the muscle era collapsed under regulation. At auction, a ZR2 can command 7 figures, valued not only for its rarity, but for its symbolic place in history, the end of unchained power. But if the ZR2 was Chevrolet's farewell to big block excess, the Corvette L88 of 1967 was its first whispered warning, an untamed beast so violent it came with a factory disclaimer. Top 3, 1967 Corvette L88. On paper, it was just another Corvette option. In reality, the 1967 Corvette L88 was a factory time bomb so powerful that Chevrolet tried to scare buyers away. This wasn't a weekend cruiser, it was a race car, thinly disguised for the street. At its core was the L88 427 cubic inch big block, officially rated at 430 horsepower. That number was a lie. With 12.51 compression, aluminum heads, a Holley 850 carburetor, and a solid lifter camshaft, real output climbed beyond 550 horsepower. With proper tuning, the L88 could shred the quarter mile in the low 11s, easily outrunning anything Detroit or Europe offered. Chevrolet knew it was dangerous in the wrong hands, so they stripped it of creature comforts. Air conditioning? Not available. Radio? Deleted. Heater? Gone. Inside, you got bucket seats, basic gauges, and the sense that this car existed for one purpose: speed. Outside, it looked like any other 1967 Corvette Stingray, subtle lines, stinger hood, chrome bumpers, but the heart beneath was all fury. Chevrolet intentionally tried to discourage buyers. Salesmen were instructed to warn customers the L88 required racing fuel, special maintenance, and was unsuitable for street driving. It worked. Only 20 L88 Corvettes were built in 1967, making them rarer than most Ferraris of the era. Today, the L88 stands as the most feared Corvette of the 60s. Survivors fetch multi-million-dollar bids, their legend fueled by the secrecy surrounding them. It wasn't just a car, it was Chevrolet's middle finger to limitations, wrapped in fiberglass. But while the L88 terrified with raw brutality, Yenka had his own idea: take a humble Nova, drop in a 427, and create a sleeper assassin that no one saw coming. Top 4, 1969, Yenko Nova 427 SC. It looked like the car your neighbor's grandmother drove, plain, compact, and forgettable. But in 1969, Don Yenko turned the humble Chevrolet Nova into a street assassin by stuffing a 427 under its hood. The result was one of the most violent sleepers ever built. Through Chevrolet's Copo program, Yenko ordered Novas with the L72 427 cubic inch big block. Factory rated at 425 horsepower, the real figure edged closer to 450. In a car weighing just over 3,200 pounds, the power-to-weight ratio was terrifying. With a Muncie 4-speed and 4.1 gears, the Yenko Nova could tear through the quarter mile in the high 11s with light tuning. From the outside, it barely gave itself away. A few Yenko badges, a blacked-out grille, maybe a set of rally wheels, that was it. Inside, buyers found simple vinyl seats, a no-nonsense dash, and the sense of sitting inside an economy car. But the moment you buried the throttle, it revealed its true nature: a compact body wrapped around a factory sledgehammer. The catch was its scarcity. Yenko built fewer than 40 Novas in 1969, with some sources suggesting closer to 30. Many lived short, brutal lives at drag strips, engines blown, bodies wrecked. Survivors today are unicorns, often mistaken for ordinary Novas until the paperwork proves otherwise. For collectors, the Yenko Nova is the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. It combined Chevy's most feared big block with the most unassuming body, creating a car that terrified rivals and slipped under the radar. Its legend lies in that contradiction: ordinary looks, extraordinary violence. But Chevrolet's appetite for hidden monsters didn't stop there. Just 6 years earlier, a full-size Impala had been stripped to the bone and armed with a 427 to dominate drag racing. Top 5, 1963, Impala Z11 427 lightweight. To the untrained eye, it was just another big Impala, long chrome-trimmed family size. But the 1963 Impala Z11 was no boulevard cruiser. It was a secret factory drag racer, built to demolish quarter-mile rivals with sheer brute force. Chevrolet engineers quietly developed the Z11 as a weapon for NHRA Superstock. Beneath the hood sat a special 427 cubic inch W-Series big block, factory rated at 430 horsepower. The engine was no ordinary mill. Aluminum intake, dual 4-barrel carburetors, forged internals, and a savage 13.51 compression ratio. With the right driver, quarter-mile times dipped into the mid-11ths lightning quick for a full-size car in 1963. To make the heavyweight Impala competitive, Chevrolet went on a crash diet. Aluminum hoods, fenders, and bumpers shaved precious pounds. Side glass was thinner, sound deadening was stripped. Inside it was bare bones, lightweight bench seats, simple gauges, and rubber mats where luxury once lived. From the outside, though, the Z11 looked almost stock, keeping its secret well hidden. The real shock? Chevrolet built only 57 Z11 Impalas. Almost all were sold directly to racers, who pushed them to their limits on drag strips across America. Many were destroyed in competition, leaving just a handful of authentic survivors today. The Z11 proved Chevrolet could turn even a family car into a quarter-mile monster. It was a statement that Detroit's horsepower wars had no boundaries, not size, not weight, not tradition. Collectors prize it as one of Chevrolet's most elusive creations, a muscle machine wrapped in Sunday suit sheet metal. But as the Impala flexed heavyweight power, Chevrolet's pony car would soon appear, with an even deadlier secret, an all-aluminum 427 that transformed the Camaro into a legend. Top 6. 1969, Camaro ZL1, Coperby 9560. It looked like another first-gen Camaro, low, wide, and aggressive. But under the hood, the 1969 Camaro ZL1 carried something no one expected, an all-aluminum 427 born from racing, a secret weapon so costly and powerful it nearly never existed. The ZL1 engine was derived from Chevrolet's Can-Am racing program. With an aluminum block and heads, forged crank, and massive Holley carb, it weighed nearly 100 pounds less than an iron big block while producing close to 550 horsepower, far above the official 430 rating. Drop that into the Camaro's compact body, and the result was devastating. Backed by the Muncie M22 Rock Crusher gearbox and 12-bolt rear end, the ZL1 Camaro could blast through the quarter-mile in the low 12s. Externally, though, it looked deceptively normal rally wheels, cowl induction hood, maybe some stripes. Inside, it was no-frills muscle, bucket seats, basic gauges, and a Hurst shifter daring you to unleash chaos. But performance came at a price. The ZL1 option added over $4,000 to the Camaro, almost doubling its cost. Dealers struggled to sell them, and many sat unsold for months. In the end, only 69 ZL1 Camaros were built, making it one of the rarest factory muscle cars of all time, XX. Collectors today see the ZL1 as the ultimate Camaro, a perfect storm of lightweight engineering and big block fury. Surviving examples command seven-figure prices, celebrated as Chevrolet's boldest factory experiment. It wasn't built for comfort or even practicality, it was built to dominate, no matter the cost. But while the ZL1 was Chevrolet's scalpel, another hidden monster wore a plain sedan body, a Biscayne, packing the same 427 built for lawmen and drag racers alike. Top 7, 1968, Biscayne L72 427. It was Chevrolet's definition of a sleeper. No stripes, no badges, screaming horsepower, just a plain two-door sedan. But the 1968 Biscayne L72 427 was a secret weapon, built for cops, racers, and anyone brave enough to order a family car with a drag race heart. The Biscayne was Chevrolet's budget full-size model fleet cars, taxis, stripped-down workhorses. But the Copo order sheet made it possible to equip this humble sedan with the L72 427 cubic inch big block. Factory rated at 425 horsepower, the engine easily delivered more. With a forged crank, solid lifters, 1101 compression, and a massive Holley carb, it launched the Biscayne from stoplights like no other sedan of its time. Externally, it was a ghost. Chrome trim was minimal, paint choices subdued, and hubcaps often plain steel. Inside, buyers found vinyl bench seats, rubber mats, and little else. No distractions, no comfort. But bolt it to a Muncie 4-speed, add a 4.1 psi rear, and you had a 3,800-pound missile capable of mid-13-second quarter miles. The real kicker was production. Chevrolet built only a few hundred L72 Biscaynes in 1968, with estimates hovering around 200 cars. Most were ordered for drag racing or law enforcement, and many were driven into the ground. Survivors today are nearly impossible to find, often mistaken for ordinary sedans until their VINs reveal the truth. Collectors prize the L72 Biscayne as one of the purest sleepers of the muscle era. It was proof that Chevrolet could take the plainest platform in its lineup and turn it into a predator. Today, when one surfaces, it commands attention and six-figure prices. But while the Biscayne kept its fury hidden, Chevrolet's mid-size Chevelle was about to step into the spotlight with a tiny run of 396 powered legends that started an empire. Top 8, 1965 Chevelle SS3 96 Z16. Before the Chevelle became a muscle car icon, Chevrolet tested the waters with a secret project. The 1965 Chevelle SS3 96 Z16 wasn't just rare, it was the proof of concept that lit the fuse for every big block Chevelle that followed. At its core was the brand new L37 396 cubic inch V8, conservatively rated at 375 horsepower. With a solid lifter cam, forged internals, and a Holley carb, it delivered brute force with surprising smoothness. Backed by a Muncie 4-speed and heavy-duty 12-bolt rear, the Z16 could hustle through the quarter-mile in the mid-14s fast for its size and luxurious appointments. From the outside, it looked like a dressed-up Chevelle SS, subtle badging, red-line tires, and chrome accents. Inside, Chevrolet added nearly every option available: bucket seats, deluxe trim, AM/FM radio, even power steering. Unlike most factory drag specials, the Z16 blended comfort with performance, making it both civilized and lethal. But here's the secret: Chevrolet built only 201 Z16s in 1965. Most were delivered to select dealers or insiders, making them practically invisible to the public. To most buyers, the Chevelle was still just another family car, not realizing the Z16 was laying the foundation for future legends like the SS 454 LS6. Collectors see the Z16 as the genesis of the muscle Chevelle dynasty. Without it, there may never have been the tire-shredding big-block monsters of the late 60s and early 70s. Today, surviving Z16s fetch six-figure sums, their value tied not just to rarity, but to their role as the car that started it all. But while the Z16 launched a dynasty, Chevrolet's hidden Copo Chevelles would push even further sleeper sedans, hiding brutal 427 power. Top 9 1969 Chevelle Copo 427 L72 9562. It looked like any other 1969 Chevelle SS, clean, understated, almost ordinary. But beneath the sheet metal lurked a secret that transformed it into one of the most feared street machines of its time: the Copo 427. Through Chevrolet's central office production order system, dealers bypassed corporate restrictions to drop the L72 427 cubic inch big block into the Chevelle. Rated at 425 horsepower, real output edged closer to 450. Backed by a Muncie 4-speed and a 12-bolt posi rear, the Copo Chevelle could thunder down the quarter-mile in the low 13s bone stock. Inside, it was all business: vinyl buckets, basic gauges, and no frills. Outside, it carried only subtle SS cues: no stripes, no spoilers, nothing to warn rivals. Chevrolet built only about 323 Copo Chevelles in 1969, making them rarer than most muscle icons. Many were ordered for drag racing, where hard launches and blown engines claimed them quickly. Survivors today are few, and documentation is everything. For collectors, the Copo Chevelle is a factory ghost car that shouldn't have existed, yet did thanks to dealer ingenuity and backdoor channels. Today, they command 6- and 7-figure prices, celebrated as one of the purest, most brutal Chevrolets ever. And then came the final act: the 1970 Chevelle SS 454 LS6, the most powerful regular production muscle car Chevrolet ever unleashed. Top 10 1970 Chevelle SS 454 LS6. If one car defined the peak of Chevrolet's muscle era, it was the 1970 Chevelle SS 454 LS6. This wasn't a hidden monster. It was the loudest, most unapologetic statement of raw power Detroit ever made. Under the cowl, induction hood sat the LS6 454 cubic inch V8, officially rated at 450 horsepower, though real numbers soared higher. With 11.251 compression, a Holley 4 barrel, and massive torque, it delivered brutal acceleration. In stock form, the LS6 Chevelle could storm the quarter-mile in the low 13s, sometimes even high 12s, with sticky tires. The SS package dressed it with rally stripes, hood pins, and a stance that announced business. Inside, buyers got bucket seats, a console-mount shifter, and full instrumentation. It balanced menace with refinement, a car that could terrorize drag strips and still serve as a daily driver. Production was limited not by Chevrolet but by timing. Rising insurance rates and looming regulations meant the LS6 lasted only 1 year. Roughly 4,475 units were built, far fewer than demand could have supported. By 1971, compression dropped, horsepower shrank, and the era of unchained muscle was over. The LS6 became the high-water mark of Chevrolet performance. Today, pristine examples fetch six-figure sums, celebrated as the ultimate symbol of Detroit's horsepower wars. It was the last moment before the muscle car world changed forever. And so the story of Chevrolet's hidden and powerful monsters ends here, with the LS6, the undisputed king that stood tall as the muscle era's final roar. From Copo Camaros to forgotten ZR2 Corvettes, Chevrolet unleashed muscle cars so outrageous they were never meant for ordinary streets. These weren't just cars, they were weapons, designed to dominate tracks, terrify rivals, and then disappear into legend. Now, decades later, they've resurfaced as million-dollar icons that still ignite the imagination. Which one shocked you the most? Tell us in the comments. We want to know your pick for the most powerful hidden Chevy ever. And if you crave more forgotten muscle legends, hit like, subscribe to Legendary Classic Cars, and ring the bell so you never miss the next story.